At the conclusion of their 2019-20 campaign, the Dallas Mavericks looked like a team on the rise. With young stud Luka Doncic already looking like a generational talent and his co-star Kristaps Porzingis looking like a worthy partner, there isn't any indication this team is headed anywhere but up. But before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. I'm trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, let's get right into this. According to team president Donnie Nelson, they will stop at nothing to ensure they make the roster even better in the upcoming offseason. And according to multiple league sources, no one is churning harder than Mavericks president and general manager Donnie Nelson, who has made it clear to peers league-wide that Dallas wants to acquire a third star to augment the pairing of Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, and if that takes adding other teams' unwanted salaries, so be it. All Mavericks players not named Doncic or Porzingis are available. With a trade likely to come in the next few months for the Mavericks, let's take a look at one scenario that could see them pair their two young stars with another talented pair from San Antonio. DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. As the Spurs contemplate a rebuild, the likelihood of a trade involving one or both of the veterans seems high, especially considering the reports that DeMar is unhappy with his current situation. Additionally, both DeMar and LaMarcus have just 1 year remaining on their current deals, with the former having a player option attached that could see him become a free agent as early as this offseason. To avoid the possibility of losing both players for nothing, they could agree to send both players to Dallas in exchange for Tim Hardaway Jr., Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleber, Justin Jackson, and the 18th pick. Not only would they be granted many solid young players to which they can develop, they'll also have cap flexibility to work with in the future. For the Mavs, the addition of DeRozan, who they can likely convince to sign a long-term extension, would add a versatile finisher and mid-range scorer to the club. With Luka taking most of the ball-handling responsibilities, DeRozan would be playing off-ball and should get a ton of shot-quality opportunities. As for Aldridge, the 35-year-old is in the twilight of his career after 14 seasons in the NBA. Even as he continues to decline, he averaged over 18 points per game last season and is known as one of basketball's most lethal mid-range shooters. Best of all for the Mavericks is the fact that they would still cap flexibility for the 2021 offseason. If DeRozan opts into his deal or they decide to let Aldridge walk, they would have the space to sign any star they want, including the two-time MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Though Dallas might not be favored over teams like the Lakers, Warriors, of Clippers, a roster consisting of Luka, KP, DeRozan, and Aldridge would certainly be among the best in the NBA. We will see soon enough what kind of team they are able to assemble in the crucial offseason ahead. Meanwhile, at the Lakers, with the NBA reportedly wanting to start the next season on December 22, there will be a condensed off-season, starting with the 2020 NBA Draft on November 18, with free agency currently starting at an undetermined date that is rumored to be shortly after the draft. The Lakers have plenty of work to do within free agency, although the biggest goal of theirs may already be wrapped up, as it is reported that Anthony Davis will re-sign with the Lakers once he opts out of his contract. If that happens, Davis, LeBron James, Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, and Talen Horton-Tucker will be part of the few Lakers who will for sure be under contract this year, with players like Dwight Howard, Avery Bradley, JaVale McGee, and Rajon Rondo with the opportunity to be free agents. Rajon Rondo has specifically already been reported as a player who will decline his $2.7 million player option for the 2020-21 season to test the market and see if he can earn more money with the Lakers or even elsewhere. A team hasn't been connected yet to Rondo other than the Lakers, with that first team being reported today as none other than the Los Angeles Clippers, reported by Mark Stein of the New York Times. With LeBron James under contract for $39 million next season and an impending large payday for Anthony Davis, the Lakers will not have much salary cap to dish out to their free agents to keep them in the purple and gold for the 2020-21 season. Rondo obviously wants more than $2.7 million per year at the very least, and he may get much more than that after an impressive postseason where he was a key reason for wins in a few of the Lakers' games. However, Rondo has famously been very bad for the Lakers in all other games he has played for them during his 2 years in LA. It won't be a long move for him if he decides to join the Clippers and their new head coach Tyronn Lue. This isn't too surprising, as it was previously reported that Kawhi Leonard may want a new point guard on the team after a disappointing season from Patrick Beverley. Lastly, let's talk about Milwaukee Bucks and Russell Westbrook. After falling short of their goals in the 2020 postseason, the Milwaukee Bucks are in a state of flux as they determine how they can make their team better this offseason. Among a number of rumors and trade suggestions, Danny Cunningham of Complex proposed a deal for the Bucks that could pair Giannis Antetokounmpo with nine-time All-Star Russell Westbrook. Is Westbrook a perfect fit in Milwaukee? Absolutely not. He's not a great shooter from the outside and not a great defender either. But what Westbrook does represent is Milwaukee going all in on winning this year with Giannis Antetokounmpo. This offseason, Antetokounmpo has the opportunity to sign a supermax extension with the Bucks, and if he doesn't he will become a free agent next summer. The Bucks need to exhaust everything in their power to win a championship in 2021, and if they don't, it could mean bad news for their hopes of retaining the two-time MVP. Westbrook, who turns 32 this November, is coming off a very complicated season with the Rockets. He averaged 27.2 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 7 assists per game on 47% shooting, great statistical numbers that prove his capabilities on the offensive end. Unfortunately, his shooting limitations, questionable decision-making, and poor defensive efforts got exposed in the playoffs, and the Rockets were unable to make very much noise when it mattered most. In Milwaukee, one has to wonder if those same flaws will lead to similar results. Still, if you're the Bucks, it might be worth the risk for the sake of proving to Giannis you're serious about surrounding him with all NBA-level talent, especially if they're able to keep Chris Middleton. In Houston, so long as they have James they'll always be relevant in the West. Though they wouldn't get a star back in this scenario, a return of Eric Bledsoe, Ersan Ilyasova, the Lopez brothers, and a 2020 first-round pick would be enough to keep them afloat and help replenish some of the assets they lost in the trades they made last season. The Rockets are able to get off a chunk of Westbrook's money and grab a first-round pick in the process of doing it, which is a win for the front office. Brook Lopez is going to cost a bit more than Houston would probably like, but he does have value if the Rockets wanted to flip him. Eric Bledsoe's contract isn't a very good one right now, but Houston should go into next season with an outlook similar to that of Oklahoma City with Chris Paul last season. If he has a great year and that contract becomes 1 year shorter, he suddenly has a positive value. As, arguably, the best long-distance shooting big in the league, Brook Lopez would be an ideal fit next to James Harden and would also add some size to a roster that desperately needs it. The addition of Bledsoe, Robin, and Ilyasova would add much-needed depth. In the end, nobody knows what is in store for these teams this offseason, only that it's a certainty they make some big splashes on the trade market. It will be interesting to see how it all plays out. And that will conclude the video. Let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. With that being said, I am out. Peace.